Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bridge to the Galaxy. My name is Tanys Coughlan, and I am joined by my beautiful co-host, Calypso Castanares.
Hi, everybody. I am Calypso. I was just doing one little techie thing here. I saw that I didn't, I wasn't live on my YouTube channel. I mean, my, here it is. Let's see if I can do it this way.
So why don't I go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going on with the Alliance. So
yeah.
We are both Galactic Ambassadors with the Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact. And so in our roles as Galactic Ambassadors, we are out there looking for support and that doesn't mean financial. We just mean like support with what we're putting forward. And so what we're putting forward is really we have the money to build an embassy for extraterrestrial diplomatic meetings.
Yes.
And we also have, the idea of going to the United Nations. We're working behind the scenes there to bring in some new amendments to the Vienna Convention and stuff to allow for diplomatic contact, because right now we're not so diplomatic at this point.
Yeah. Well, so, we've only dealt with the human aspect of it.
Exactly.
We haven't done the extraterrestrial part, and so that's what we're doing.
That's right. Exactly. So we're going to give you a little update on what's happening with the Alliance. Yeah. So we're super excited because we've just joined forces with another organization as well that is 250,000 strong. So we're bringing in, so right now we have an organization of 750,000 supporters.
Yeah.
And so really our goal is to get that up to 1 million by the end of the year. And so
do it.
Yeah, so
and you guys out there watching can help as well. If you're on Facebook or whatever, and you guys can contact us, and you can also become a supporter. Even if you don't have an organization behind you or anything, individuals can be supporters. And that just means saying yes to a future of contact with our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters, and yes to the building of an embassy, because that's how we work here on our planet. We do things a special way. Maybe sometimes those special ways are not not everybody likes it, but that's just the way we do things here.
Yeah.
And you can support and doing little things by just talking about these things with your friends, or a YouTube channel, or just a Facebook group, or whatever.
Or even just adding to the conversation here.
Yes, adding to the conversation,
right?
Which we can always
let's have conversation.
Hi, Ula. How are you? Hi, Jeannie.
Nice of you to join us.
I believe it's from my friend Ula here. I believe she is in Hungary. Is that right, Ula? She's been a supporter of mine and client and friend for a while.
Beautiful.
And so, she can do her part just by having these amazing conversations with people around in her country, in her neighborhood. Taking the temperature of what other people think is kind of fun.
It is. And that's kind of what our show is about, right? It's about overall a bridge to the galaxy. It's really about creating that bridge. And how do we do that? Is through open conversation, right?
Yeah.
Amongst ourselves, and then hopefully when our galactic brothers and sisters are good, with them as well.
Yeah, I know. That's how we start. I am fine, thank you. Oh, good. Oh, she lives
in Denmark.
Denmark. That's
wonderful.
Awesome.
So welcome, Ula. Yeah, so the Alliance is actually very international. We're in many countries around the world.
Yes.
We have Galactic Ambassadors all over the world now. And, we're working within various countries to bring awareness to this and to create that bridge.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
So one thing I want to encourage everybody that's watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching through the replay, is to go to the website here, www.allianceforet.org, and see that, this is the real deal. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful website full of all kinds of information. Please check it out. Not now, but maybe afterwards, and write it down. Get your pen and paper and just write that down so you can visit the website.
Yeah, because we're really about
do your homework.
And the whole organization, the whole thing behind it is all about love.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Right? Yes, love and getting excited about our future, because we know that our galactic brothers and sisters have been here for a while. And now more than any time on our planet, we're talking about them. We're seeing them. People are filming them. And which leads us to the topic of today.
It does.
What is going on with these unidentified flying objects that are being shot down in the United States? So we're gonna shed some light on it and talk about it a little bit, because there's a lot going on out there in the news world.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. So we picked out some topics. We picked out some quotes. So why don't we start with that? So the first one we have is 2 parts. So this is the first part, and it's John Kennedy. He's a U.S. Senator. This quote was from Newsweek. "It's clear to me this is not a recent phenomenon," he told reporters, saying, "This has been going on since at least 2017. Calling for more transparency," he said. "If you're confused, you understand the situation perfectly."
Personally, I think it's a little confusing how he says that this was going on since 2017. Well, what is going on since 2017?
What is it that's going on? Exactly. Yeah. What is it that's going on?
If they were shooting down things, then I think we might have known about it, because hello, everybody's got a cell phone these days, and especially since 2017. So, we have to be careful when we're looking at, news topics and stuff, because there is the tendency to throw out little things to make us fall into fear, and we don't want that.
Yes, things like this.
Yeah.
Which was the other part of the quote from him. Concluding his comments to the gathered media, Kennedy added, "Lock your doors tonight."
Yeah. Lock your doors tonight. Now, what in the world does he mean tonight, and why lock our doors?
Yeah.
He's asking for more transparency, but yet he's not being very transparent in what in the things that he's saying during this interview. And a funny note too is I heard Canadians never lock their doors at night.
Oh, we do.
Did this whole topic. I forget what it was, but they spent a good 20 minutes talking how Canadians don't lock their doors. They're very comfortable, and they don't live in fear and that kind of thing. Yeah, we lock our doors. So we've always locked our doors. But I'm not worried that anything's going to come marching through my front door, China, Russia, I don't think they're going to be walking through my front door at night. So that was a total scare tactic right there.
It was, yes. And we need to stay out of that fear, because that's not what we're here for, right? We're not going to be able to attract them into being here with us.
Yeah.
So we need to stay out of fear, really. A lot of what's happening is that.
We don't want that future. This is why we talk about, or at least I talk about a lot, is creating a timeline, creating a reality and a future for ourselves where we're focused on the excitement. There's a lot of things in Hollywood that would make us want to fall into fear about aliens and UFOs and having contact, that it's going to end up looking like a Hollywood scary movie of invasion, which it's not, because if they wanted to invade us, they could have done it a long, long time ago when it was easier to take us over, not when we have all this military and stuff and these crazy nuclear weapons, So that, there's the part of our job, I think that's what you and I are trying to do, is to dispel all this fear.
Yeah.
And to not fall into scare tactics.
Well, and you're absolutely right in saying, if they had wanted to do this, they could have done it.
Yeah.
They're not. That's not what their agenda is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not to say there aren't some that have that agenda, but if you look at us, right? If you look at them like as if they're similar to us, we have a portion of our population that's not so nice too.
There's always a bad apple in the bunch here and there,
Exactly.
But that's another thing I encourage people to do is, yes, do your homework, watch the news, get your headlines, but don't feed on all of the stuff. Don't watch it all the time, because all of the media is negative.
Yeah.
It's important to focus on your day, your joys, your passions.
Exactly.
Stay abreast of certain things when you feel like they're serious to pay attention to. But understand that you're also protected. You came into this life. You have your higher self, your spirit guide, the creator source of all that is. And if you're in a good place in your mind, and you're trying to eliminate fear in your daily life, and you're starting to focus on more joys and passions, and having positive conversations with people and positive interactions with people, that is going to really help our future as we move into the preparation for contact.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, we talk about the whole ascension process that we're all going through, right? I mean, it's not woohoo when you think about all of the light that's coming in, right? We've got the Schumann resonance scale measuring all of that. We had a coronal mass ejection from the sun over the weekend on Saturday. I think it was around 2:00 in the afternoon. That was one of the biggest that we've had. They called it
an X. Oh my goodness, really?
X class.
I have not. An X class is the largest there is.
Yeah. And so it's been really affecting the energies the last few days, right? So we don't normally feel it until usually 2 to 3 days after, because it's so far away from us, right? It takes time.
It's a while to get to us.
Yeah, but we are feeling it the last day or so. We've been feeling sort of that. I've been tired. That's how I usually process it, is like that fatigue.
A little tired sometimes too. My husband even came in the other and like, "Are you still in bed?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
But I always tell everybody too, we live on this planet, and many of our ancient cultures talked about the sun. They worshiped the sun.
Yep.
Without the sun, we would die. But at the other end of the spectrum is that the sun is very mystical.
It is.
And it's really, truly, I believe that it is upgrading us. It's helping our planet enter these higher states of consciousness. It's helping us, of course, it's doing all kinds of things that we just we can't even imagine. But it is not something we should fear, for sure.
No. I mean, what happens with the coronal mass ejections, right? They hit the atmosphere of the earth. Yeah. And it gives us a little nudge. Like, you're not talking like end of the world stuff. This is not, that's not what this is about. It's energy that hits the earth, right?
Yeah.
And so as we sort of get nudged by these coronal mass ejections, it increases our vibration. It increases our frequencies, which is great, right? Because that's where we find that feeling of well-being, and love is a high vibration emotion, and all of that stuff. So really, it's just putting us in a better state when we have these kinds of things happen. So as you were saying, that the sun is just helping us with our ascension.
These types of things too, just like our planet goes through certain stages. Many people talk, about global warming and stuff, and we do have that, because we have things on our planet that shouldn't be here, that's not helping our planet. But our planet also goes through stages.
It does.
Different climate changes and things like that. So the sun has been around for a long time, and pointing at our world, and we're still here.
Exactly. So and coronal mass ejections didn't just start. This has been happening. We're just starting to hear more about it. I think perhaps it's a little more active than it has been before.
In the sense that it could knock out our power grids.
It could.
And that can be serious, because we all need power. But I know that they're doing, I think for the last 5 years, since that Japanese scientist has really put it on the radar that we need to upgrade our power grid systems. I think most countries, have been doing a lot to really kind of fortify that, because we don't want to be without power. And it does happen. It does mess with, electrical things and things like that. So a few minutes ago when you were talking, Tanys, about, so why do you think, I think there was a quote that I sent you that you'll pop up that was talking about some of the things that these unidentified flying objects, which are not from space, but are, you know, they haven't fully identified what they are. One thing we want to say too is that there's a lot, and you can go ahead and read that, Tanys.
So a range of entities, including countries, companies, research organizations, operate objects at these altitudes for the purposes that are not nefarious, including legitimate research, right? So that's to help us stay out of fear. Okay? Because really it's not all nefarious. Just because we're seeing this and we're shooting them down, it's more because they're being ultra cautious, right? Because there is a lot of fear right now. There are political agendas at work. And, you know, but we need to keep in mind that it's not necessarily fear. It doesn't need to be fear inducing. No. So when we step out of that fear and look at these news things with a different lens, basically, right, we can start to discern what is
because
good
there
and what's
could be
not.
a lot of research going on. But they did say that nobody came forward saying that this was from our institution or whatever.
John Kirby said, as of Tuesday afternoon, no private companies or nations had come forward to claim any of the recent downed objects.
They might be afraid. They might get a huge ticket.
And that's possible. Costs a lot of money to deploy these things, right?
Here in California, if you get caught in the carpool lane, it's over I think it's over $1,000 fine. Actually, I was going to say 200, but I think that was the handicap parking. But I think it's over $1,000 fine if you drive in the carpool lane and you're not, you know, two people or more. So there could be that, you know, they don't want to come forward, you know. One thing I want to share with our audience that Tanys helped me to enlightened me a little bit is I had a dream about this. I actually asked my spirit guides and I said, you know, help me understand what's going on. And I dreamt that I saw that it was man-made, earth-made. And I actually got a good look at the man that made this. And he was like a farmer type wearing overalls. And he had made these contraptions. To me, I would probably label them like a drone where they're gathering information or whatever. But he made these and I saw that they were super high tech and I couldn't believe that the farmer did that. And then underneath the thing, the floating thing that they've shot down, I saw in my dream, now mind you, this is a dream, I saw that there were books and tarot cards in a little compartment open. And Tanys, what did you say when I said that?
That they're bringing wisdom to the future, right?
Yeah.
They're opening our eyes to wisdom for the future.
They're opening our eyes, raising our consciousness.
Yes.
And that, when she said that, I was floored. I was like, that's it. That's what it means.
Yeah.
That, you know, everything is meant to be. And this is taking our temperature. So like, let's just say hypothetically, it was our galactic brothers and sisters sending little things like drones. And they would be doing that to take our temperature, so to speak, to see where we are. Are we falling into fear? Because they can measure those types of things. They can see, you know, because we're all energy and we all hold a frequency. And they can see how is the world reacting to these things.
Absolutely.
But the other thing too is that it's getting us to look up. It's getting us talking about them coming.
Exactly.
It's getting us excited. Many people I know in some of the Facebook groups that I'm in, they're excited.
Yeah.
Even though they don't think they're aliens, because we can't shoot down aliens, let's face it. They're too high tech for us. That's when I knew that it wasn't anything, you know, alien, because, you know, they wouldn't allow, you know, but they might allow us to shoot down a drone, you know.
Yeah.
But so, you know, it's getting our awareness. And I like that idea. And I'm so glad I shared this dream with you, because that's what we're part of doing. We're bringing just awareness to these exciting events for our future.
That's right. And that's what all of this is about.
Yes.
Right?
It is
That's why we come
awareness.
on. That's why we're on here today, right?
Yeah.
Just to pull the awareness.
That's why I signed up with the Alliance, because I want to bring this type of awareness, this positive awareness. There's a lot in the spiritual community that would like you to bring your awareness to some scary stuff. And when you focus on scary things, you're creating a scary reality for yourself. And that is not something that we want to do at the Alliance, or our show, here with you and me, Tanys.
Yeah, no, we want to bring love, right? We want to focus on the love.
Yeah.
And reducing fear, because fear doesn't serve anybody. It doesn't serve anybody. All it does is serve an agenda where people do things because they feel obligated, not because it's something that they would really want to do, right?
Yeah.
And I think that we're moving away from that.
Yes, we are.
As a society, I think that if we aren't, we need to be. This is what's coming, is this higher consciousness level of let's bring in love, let's bring in peace. This is, we're not in the space right now where we're not in the Middle Ages anymore, right?
No, we're not.
So we don't need to act like that.
We don't.
Middle Ages, everything was about war over this person and that person, and I'm going to take over this kingdom, and we don't need to be there anymore.
We are not there anymore. No. So, and the other thing that I like to bring attention to is the power that we have. Even scientists are starting to actually believe this, that we are creating, each of us are that there's multiple versions of Earth. There's multiple versions of reality. And instead of us changing the entire world, we're just changing that version of Earth that we live on.
Yeah.
So virtually, we have the power and the capability, by our belief and our thoughts, to pick the version of Earth that we want to live on.
That's right.
And the version that I want to live on is excitement, the embassy. There's even the man, and you guys have heard me talk about him. The man, Daryl Anka. You guys can research him. He's been around for 35 years. He channels an alien, Essassani being, and he brings forth information. Even Tanys is a channeler. And he has said that he wants us to get excited about future contact. And he wants us to have these little quiet meditations where we're envisioning looking out our window and seeing spaceships flying in the air.
Yeah.
And then, do a little bit of a self kind of checkup. How do you feel if you saw spaceships flying in the air? And then work on your fears if you feel like you might have some fear, or gauge to see how excited you are. But choose that reality for yourself. Look at yourself in the future, looking out your window, seeing them coming, getting excited, like, oh my gosh, they're here. Like, like you've got a relative coming to visit.
I just might. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I might.
I know. I think all of us have a few relatives floating around up there. And see how we feel, and make this part of your reality, make this part of your future by getting excited, having quiet meditations, envisioning them coming through the embassy.
Yeah. And that's a great exercise, because it also, even if it wasn't, like, even if you're not quite sure what to believe, okay, even doing that exercise helps you to clear out some of your programming of beliefs that you might have around this.
Yeah, that aren't serving you.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we get programmed with things that we see over our lifetime. And how many movies and stuff have we seen where they're nefarious, right? So we get programmed subconsciously with these kinds of things.
Yes.
So why not go in and clear the programs? Because we all know Hollywood, makes everything huge one way or the other.
Yeah.
Right? There's never like that normal sort of in between.
I can only think of a handful of movies that made it positive.
Well, E.T.
That was positive.
That was a great one. I love that one.
Yeah. And there's one that's a little unknown to people called The Abyss. And this is about extraterrestrials under the water.
Ah.
So if you guys can watch that, try to check that out.
Well, and of course there's the Avatar movies.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Avatar.
Avatar was beautiful. It just made me cry. It was just, it was beautiful.
The second one I don't know about. The second one was too much violence for me. I think they ruined it.
Yeah. But the beings themselves.
Yeah.
It was us that were violent in the movie, not the beings.
Yeah.
Right? Not the water beings.
No.
So, yeah.
But definitely what Tanys said is true. We've been programmed. Even I know, even I, who am someone that's super excited, that has believed in them for a long time, even I can feel like I've got the heebie-jeebies sometimes around them coming, like that I need to clear out, because we have a tendency to fear the unknown a little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
and I've had encounters with them, in the higher frequencies. So we're not talking physical encounters, guys. I did have one physical-ish encounter. But the ones that I've had with them in the higher frequencies, I had one encounter with praying mantis beings, and I was like, and I realized that I was feeling some of that, and it's programming.
Yeah, right? It is. Yeah.
And so I had to reassess that.
One thing that I did hear from a lot of people that have had abduction, and we know that that's been going on, that they said when they were in the presence of them, there was their species is just so different from ours.
Yeah.
So that we understand we're in it, and they're also communicating telepathically. So that feels like an invasion into your thoughts, but they're very peaceful, but they are different from us,
Yeah.
Just like when explorers set out in, through to go,
come and find North America.
They encountered people that would have been like, whoa.
Who are you? Yeah.
And some of them were a little hostile. They were a few headhunters. But when we encounter anything that is unknown to us, we're a little bit on guard,
Yeah. Yeah.
But truly, we have nothing to fear because, we have been here for so long and they have not done anything. In fact, ancient writings talks about them. Ancient Egypt, the Mayans, Aztecs, the Sumerians, Babylonians talked about how they brought enlightenment to them. They brought knowledge to them.
Yeah. And they communicate with us all the time.
They do.
We just don't realize it because as humans, we don't realize what telepathic communication is, right?
Yeah.
We're not tuned into that. And so we get telepathic communication and we think it's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, oh, I have this idea. Why don't I build this? And then really it's them giving us technology.
It's them giving us that. That's why it's so important to have quiet time alone with your thoughts. And to meditate and to have that courage to open up. It may feel really weird at first, but opening yourself up to communicating, it's just like when we pick up the phone, for all these years, we don't see the other person on the end, but we know that they're there. Now we can see each other when we talk.
Yeah, we can.
But
like this.
Knowing that when you send out that signal and you're wishing for a contact, peaceful, loving contact. Remember, if you're holding love, you're going to get somebody on the other end that is in love as well, because like attracts like. So there's no fear. And have the courage to open yourself up, because all of those types of little exercises that we do are going to help us in our future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And all of our healing journey is all going to bring us towards that love, right?
It is.
So the more we get rid of the fear, the more we can step into that love and raise our vibration and just be happier, healthier, peaceful beings.
Yeah. It's a win-win.
It is. It is. It's just an exciting adventure that we asked to be in.
Yep. You can't go wrong.
we just decided, we would come down and be human for a bit. And
Yeah.
because, my belief is that we're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Absolutely. This is just
And
one of so many journeys and lives that we've had, and who knows what the next one's going to be. We're
yep,
just balls of energy wanting to expand our consciousness and learn all the time. And there's
exactly.
so many things to learn. The flip side of the coin on different, lives that we've had. But this time, as a
It's,
hypnotherapist and somebody that was a big lover of Dolores Cannon, who hypnotized people and did past life regressions with people, thousands of people all over the world, people that didn't even know each other, were having conversations that this time on our planet right now is the most exciting time, and that they knew that souls were coming in to be born during this
yeah,
special time, because this time is when our planet is entering it's the big show. It's
yeah,
the higher states of consciousness. We're going from, like what Tanys said earlier, we're not in the Middle Ages anymore. But to our galactic brothers and sisters, it's like we're going from the Middle Ages into the future. Like,
yeah.
it's like this big, huge jump that we're doing. And
Mhm.
they're going to help us. They're not going to help us do everything. That we are here to do the work, but they're going to help us in many ways. I truly believe it, by giving us technology to help us get rid of the nuclear stuff that we've created, get
Yeah.
rid of things so that this planet can become a planet free of anything that is scary like that. So this is exciting,
It is. And I know you mentioned earlier that I channel, and I have channeled a number of messages from Commander Ashtar Sheeran,
Yes.
who is, he's in charge of the Galactic Federation in this area.
Yes.
And, it's all about, they're like, we're here for you. We're just waiting to see what you're doing.
They're here to
We're here
support us.
supporting you, and we love you. And it's all very loving messages.
It is.
Right.
Absolutely.
So we have a lot of different races that are actually out there, watching to see what we're doing, because we're an interesting race.
We are
here on Earth.
We are.
And a lot of them are, they've already been through it. So their support for us is almost like big brothers, and I don't mean big brother in the bad way. I mean, like, they're like supporting us, like older siblings would support their little brothers or sisters,
like
right?
a family supports their younger ones coming up.
Exactly.
They're cheering us on. They're helping us when they can. They're always saying, they're really, really wanting us to open up communication with them,
They really do. Yeah.
And because that is how they communicate. They just can't say, I'm coming over for dinner. Because they can't land on the front lawn.
Yet.
But we can do these little exercises where we can welcome them into our consciousness. We can welcome them into our into that palpable kind of feeling that you feel like you can feel their presence, but you can't see them. I've had lots of encounters like that.
Yes.
And
yeah, I've had that sort of stuff for quite a while, as you have, and it's amazing when you feel, and it's all love that you feel from them when they're in the room, like, or in the room when they're with you.
Yeah.
You can feel it. When you ask for help and they're there, you'll feel it. It feels like love.
And we are multidimensional beings as well.
Yeah,
when we're sleeping at night, we're not just sleeping. Our consciousness is traveling, having experiences. And so these beings, just like we can't see our departed loved ones, we know that they're here. And this is why many people go to psychic mediums like Tanys and myself to open up, because we're channels, to help people we put words to what those things. We can feel, we can hear the messages, we can sense them, we know when they're here. And it's just like that spirit realm. We can't see them. But I also heard an exciting thing channeled by Bashar was that, channeled by Daryl Anka, was that as we get as we're moving closer and closer to contact, and the frequencies change on our planet that are higher frequencies, and we're all getting out of fear and excitement, we're choosing that positive reality for ourselves, that a lot of these things that we can't see, like the spirit realm, the veils will be lifted. And
really, the veil now, it's not really a physical veil anymore. It's all about our lenses. It's our lens.
True. Our lenses. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we look at the world through this, and as we start to open up and we become more awake, it's more like this, right?
I like to put on my love lenses.
Perfect. I just want to say a quick hello. We have some awesome people joining us here. Dreaming Wolf, hello. Dorada, so Betsy, she's saying she feels tingles with their here. Yep, for sure. And we have Gerald from Tarot Stash. Howdy.
Howdy.
I'll be seeing you later. Gerald.
Yeah, welcome. Hi, Sophie.
Thank you for joining us.
It's so exciting to see everybody on here. And you guys continue to comment. I don't know if they can comment when we're not live, but just send us a message and let us know that you're watching the replay. Or if you can comment, you can always hashtag replay.
Yeah, they can comment, and we'll get notified, I think, because we're tagged in the video. So we'll get it. We won't be on live to answer questions, but we'll get notified.
But we'll get a certainly. Yeah. Yeah. So exciting. I love it.
Dorada, or Betsy, is actually one of my students. So it's great to have you.
Oh, I'm so glad you guys are enjoying the conversation. Awesome. Yeah, Tanys and I have a lot of fun doing this. This is our second segment. We were going to have our president, Daniel Turcotte, on, but he is very busy. He is behind the scenes, working with a lot of countries and diplomats and even the United Nations, talking and getting, about building the embassy, and it's
he's got a busy job.
Very important work. He's a very busy man.
So we will be having guests going forward. We're hoping to we have a lot of supporters, of course, with the Alliance. And so we're going to be.
Tell us one more time, Tanys, how many supporters?
We're about 750,000 at the moment.
Worldwide. Worldwide. That's exciting. Yeah. And when she says supporters, this is not people that, send money,
No, it's not about the money.
Saying yes to extraterrestrial contact through the Alliance and the building of the embassy.
Yeah. And we partner with all sorts of organizations all over the world. So we have a lot of organizations that have joined up in the cause kind of thing, or in our mission is a better way to put it. So, those organizations, and they're all about, bringing love and peace to the earth and supporting any peaceful contact with any beings.
Because that's one of the first and foremost things that they make it very clear with the Alliance is that we're all about love.
Yeah.
We're all about love and unity, and creating wonderful, amazing relationships with people worldwide.
That's right.
And we don't set out to create
universe-wide.
Fear. Yeah.
Universally wide, right? Not even just worldwide. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I came on board. It was just because it was done, and it's just being done in such a beautiful way. Yes, it's being done through the way that our world works, through the United Nations.
Politically, right?
Politically, yes.
We have to have, and that's
we operate.
And that's why we have this plight to have the numbers of supporters, because the more supporters we have, the more sort of political support that we have, right? Absolutely. And we all know that that's kind of how our world works right now.
Yes, it is.
Is in that way. So that's why, we're here to sort of raise the awareness, and the more we can sort of band together, because really it's a joint thing. It's not just one group over another. There is no room for competition anymore. This is all about collaboration.
Yes, it is.
And that's a wonderful thing.
It is.
So, Dreaming Wolf, perfect.
I want to support. Oh, I'm so glad, Sophie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that just message me when we are done, or I'll message you, and then we can talk about how you can support. You can support in just by Facebook post. I know that you love to take those trips to Mount Shasta, talking about it in those groups with Mount Shasta, and creating this positive timeline for our future. We're doing it in a very special way. We have an amazing recipe to get us to that future contact. And personally, I think everybody should just support the Alliance, because you're getting a dose of love here.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the love.
It's all about the love.
Kristen Dunham says we are all one.
Oh,
and
hi,
absolutely.
That's what Sylvain always says.
Mm-hmm.
He says we are one in his emails.
Yep.
So you guys, we had Sylvain as a guest
on our first episode.
On our first episode.
Yeah.
And he's been with the Alliance since inception, I think.
Yeah.
And where can they find that video with Sylvain?
That'll be on it's on my YouTube anyway. So if you want to go to the Twillow Lifestyle Community YouTube, it's on there, and I'm going to actually make sure that we get that posted on the Alliance.
It's on the Alliance YouTube channel, isn't it?
Well, let me just take a look
Sarah
at that.
And the one that.
Let's just take a look at that, shall I?
I know. I'm not for sure.
Let me do that. So I know that we're going to be
check out Tanys's YouTube channel and subscribe, please. Twillow Talks.
Twillow Lifestyle is the channel.
Twillow Lifestyle is her channel.
We do all sorts of stuff. Yep. So it is on the Alliance.
What's the name of that YouTube channel? Is it totally? Is it just
YouTube? Let me check here.
I always forget the address.
Just taking a look. Oh, that's not the one I want. I have a couple of accounts, guys. Just a bit of patience. Just trying to bring it up here. Dashboard content. Where are we?
Oops.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do is actually put this. This is the link. I'm putting it into the comments for the first Bridge to the Galaxy.
I actually don't see it on the Extraterrestrial Alliance. I don't see it at ET Alliance.
It's I think it's on the other one.
Yeah.
We have two with the Alliance.
Yeah.
And it's on the second one. So let me just put this up here. There we go. So if you follow the link that I've just posted.
Yeah, she put it in the comments. There you guys go. So click on that. And definitely check out Sylvain. He's a brilliant mind.
He is. So we've got that streaming. And we should be on there now. And it is not showing up on our live stream on there. That's interesting. Okay. So we will fix that.
All the little.
We have techie issues still.
I know. We're new. We're new at this. Tanys, you're great at this. I'm so glad that you're in the pilot seat for this one.
Well, I'm good on Facebook and stuff, but having the other channels
live, I can upload a video to YouTube. But this other stuff, I'm just like, okay, I don't know.
Well, we're just starting to learn how to put it up here, but we'll get it up for you on YouTube as anyways, and we'll have that there for you so that you can see both episodes, this one and the last one.
Definitely check out the first one, because that was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And Sylvain is always interesting to talk to, because he's got a brilliant scientific mind. He knows all of the ins and outs of everything.
And full of love.
Yes, absolutely. And hello, Sylvain. We're so happy for you. Congratulations on your new marriage.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
And your new life in Thailand.
Yeah. So when we said we have people all over the world, we have people all over the world.
Yes, we do. We have Sherman over there. And where is Sherman again? Thailand?
I think he's in Thailand as well.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
we have reps
I always forget this. Malaysia. I think he's Malaysia.
I don't know.
I'll ask him.
In Asia. But we have people in Italy. We have people in South Africa.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of people in the States, a bunch of people in Canada. We have a bunch of people in... Sylvain is the basically the vice president of the Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact. So
yeah, you guys check out right here at the bottom. There is the website to check out, the official website of the Alliance, so you can see everything. Right there, www.allianceforet.org. Check out that website for sure, and you're going to see some amazing stuff. And yeah, and if you guys have any questions, please
put them in the chat. Right?
Put them in
That's
the
what
chat.
We're here for.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're so happy you guys all joined us today.
Yeah. You're welcome. My husband has interest in seeing alien ships. Is there a way to do that? Being open to contact with intention. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do, really. Is
you just have to set your intention. Yeah.
Set your intention. Yep.
Yeah. Act like, go out, doing activities that are behind your intentions, like going outside in the, at night, putting out some blankets and chairs and just looking up at the night sky, having a quiet meditation, and you're just opening up contact, hold some love in your heart, hold that love and excitement, like you're ready to meet an old friend, and you're going to connect. You're going to see something. It takes a little practice sometimes, but once you open that contact up through your heart space and through your mind and your intentions, you're going to start to see things.
Yeah.
Do they shy away from people that are struggling emotionally? I think that's my problem.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
If you have a lot of fear, then they don't want to scare you.
Right.
Because
that's not their intention.
No, I think that they can gauge a little bit when we're ready as well. So, maybe they'll do little things, I would start to say, pay attention to your synchronicities. Do you start to see more headlines about alien contact? Maybe you'll start to see and feel little things, and it'll raise your excitement a little bit more. Yeah.
So she says it's not fear. She's struggling. So no, it's, so the way I would explain that would be, when we're struggling, our vibration is lower. Okay. And so for us to be able to communicate telepathically and to be able to see them when they're not in the physical, we actually have to raise our vibration to open up that awareness piece. So if you're struggling emotionally, it's not that they're not wanting to come to you. It's not that they are trying to avoid being there. It may be that they are reaching out to you. But when we are stuck in our fear and we're struggling, we can't sense it. So I always explain this when we're talking about those kinds of senses. It's almost like a dog whistle, right? So our regular hearing range is here. A dog whistle is up here. Okay. So when we are in our regular kind of hearing, we're in a lower vibration, we don't hear the dog whistle up here because it's out of our regular hearing range. As we start to raise our vibration or like open up our awareness, right? That opens up like this. And all of a sudden, this dog whistle is not so far out of our range anymore.
Yeah.
And when it's not out of our range, then we can start to pick up on those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just about keep doing your healing work. That's what I would recommend, hon, because the more we do that healing work, the more we're opening this up for ourselves, and we can just start to perceive more. And that's what's happening for you, is just you're in that clearing mode. That's what you're saying here. I try to do what I do.
Yeah.
meditation and
That's
clearing.
what I do at Shasta Meditation Clearing. Yeah.
Yeah, just keep at it, because some of us have stuff from past lives and all of that stuff that we're trying to clear right now.
Yeah.
So don't lose hope in that.
I think that the more and more people, let's say you're going through a traumatic event.
Yep.
You know, you're in sadness, you're in mourning. Because I know you lost your mom, Sufi. And, you know, my heart goes out to you. It's always hard losing a parent. You enter those states, you know, that are hard, difficult to handle. But you also have to have a conscious awareness to say, okay, I've done my mourning, because that's what, you know, our emotions are just gauges. We fall into the trap of allowing our emotions to control us. But when you make a conscious effort to say, okay, I'm done with the sadness, or I'm done with the emotions, you know, sucking me down, because that's how it works. Then you make a conscious effort to start living your joy, living your passion daily, little bit by little bit, putting your actions towards those things that you love, whether it's quiet meditation or taking a walk or just reading a good book or binging on Netflix. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. That will immediately bring you into those vibrations that are higher and open you more up. And because all our emotions do is kind of get us or they try to pull us into that frequency, and we get stuck in the emotional body. Yeah. And the minute you start saying, you know, because that's where we have to do everything consciously with intention. We say, I'm done with the mourning, I'm done with the anger, I'm done with that. And I'm just going to focus now on my joys and my passions, those things that feel good to me, because that's when we start to fall into alignment. And that's when we, like Tanys says, we enter those higher states of consciousness. And that is when the veil gets thinner and we start to see more, feel more, know more, sense more, and it gets exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it looks like she's lost her dog as well. That was what she had put there. So her mom and her dog. So that no wonder, right?
You're just, and my dog. Oh my
goodness. We're just going through some grief, right?
Yeah, the grief thing. Yeah.
It's okay.
And that takes some time. And
be patient with yourself.
Be patient with yourself and just sit in it. I always say, sit in the muck. And then when you're done being in the muck, just say, okay, dust myself off and say, I'm ready to get out of the muck. And you pull yourself out by the things that you choose to focus on.
Yeah.
You make a conscious awareness to focus on the joy. And sometimes it's cheesy, I know, but we have to practice gratitude to bring us out of the muck.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have a couple of questions here now. So let's take a look at those. So Kristen, do you think the UFO sightings and shoot downs have anything to do with the train derailments? Is it distraction? I'm not asking in a fearful manner. I'm curious to know if my intuition is correct.
Yeah, I heard about this train derailment, which released a lot of toxic gas. I don't know if you heard about that too, Tanys.
I did,
That's good. That's always bad. And we don't want that for our atmosphere, and we don't want it for the area that the people live in. I mean, that alone can cause a lot of problems, and that's sad. And I do know that people talk about distractions. Look over here while this is going on, but that was an accident. And I'm sure when an accident happens, they're going to take all the precautions that they can take, you know. Look at that but through the lens, not through the news lens. Looking through your own lens. If you knew that you had an accident personally or whatever, you would try to clean it up. So I know it sounds silly, but I'm choosing my timelines like this. But sometimes I struggle with it. I try to put on my rose-colored glasses and I try to look at it as, yes, oh gosh, that was a terrible accident. I'm sure that they've got all the team there cleaning that up. You know, and that these two things are just very different from one another, and they're not trying to take, you know, I do try to look at things in my life through rose-colored glasses, and I try to find the good in each scenario or each situation. It's hard sometimes, especially with TikTok.
No doubt.
Sometimes I'm on the messaging saying, Tanys, did you hear about this?
I'm like, oh, okay.
Like,
let's stay in a better time frame.
Americans.
No, I never say that.
What's going on down there?
We're all in this together, so it's all good. It's all
but
good.
I try really hard. Like I'll catch myself falling into fear.
Yeah.
And diving into the, like, you know, the wormhole, and then I'll be like, no, this is not my timeline. This is not the reality I choose for myself. And I'll put on my rose-colored glasses and I'll say no, you know. And that's what I try to tell my clients in our everyday life, in our relationships with people. One of the first things that I learned how to do, and Buddhism, thank heavens, taught me how to do that, was to look at not to look at all the negative things in people or situations. Try to find the good in everything.
Because there is good in everything. And everybody, guys.
Even
everybody.
Our mistakes are good because, hello, that's how we learn.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
All right, so Ming has a question for us. Do you apply discernment in which types of aliens you contact or they contact you?
Ooh, yes. You do that one, Tanys. You're good.
Yes, apply discernment for sure. I think, though, that as you have a higher vibration, if you stay in that high vibration and that's your intention to only deal with those high vibrations, that we are protected.
Absolutely.
Right? We are protected innately from those. I mean, that is actually that's actually part of what the Galactic Federation does. Actually, is protect us from some of that stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? Because just like our police do here, you know, they protect us from people that are not so great, and you know, we have the Galactic brothers and sisters that do the same thing. When you believe
you're protected, you're gonna be protected.
You are.
Yeah. But
because we create our reality.
We all have permission slips. You know, Daryl Lenka, here we go. Daryl Lenka, the man that channels the alien Bashar for over 35 years, has said that we have, as humans, we have permission slips. Some of our permission slips may be holding a crystal is going to make me feel protected, or seeing myself. I love Diana Cooper. She's a famous, well-known author in Great Britain. She likes to envision herself being surrounded by the unicorn energy or just beautiful divine white light. And just by a little setting an intention like that and seeing and knowing and feeling that you are protected, you're protected.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, you can do things like bringing down a tube of light. A lot of my clients get that from me. We bring in an archangelic tube of light to protect you. You know, there's those kinds of things you can do. But what all of that does is just helps you to raise your vibration to a frequency that is not compatible with the lower frequencies, right?
No, that's it, compatibility, because and this can be proven as well that and you guys do your research of Dr. Emoto of Japan. He proved that our thoughts and everything create a reality. So when you're focused on really good things, you know, you're going to be bringing in those realities are going to be great for you. So we have amazing power. Believe me, you are so powerful. You create just with the thoughts that you have.
Okay, so I have something to show it to people.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I want you to try this too. Okay. So I want all of you out there, I want you to find that line on your wrist, that really dense line. Okay. The one that's right at the base of your wrist. And I want you to match them up as closely as you can. Okay. Yeah. Now I want you to put your hands together. And most of us have one hand that's shorter than the other. Just because we're human, that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to take the shortest hand and I want you to put it out in front of you like this. And I want you to look at it with intention and repeat 5 times. Grow longer, grow longer, grow longer, grow longer, grow longer.
Grow longer.
Okay. Now what I want you to do is match up those lines again. Put your hands together.
It's magic. I love it. Oh my God, Tanys.
So how many of you had that happen? How many of you grew your fingers with your consciousness?
My finger grew. How in the world? Well, of course I know, but it's just so cool.
This is how strong our thoughts are. So when we're thinking about the denser stuff.
Yeah.
Betsy, awesome. When we think about the denser stuff, that we might attract it we might.
Yeah.
So let's think that we're not going to attract it. We're only attracting love and light.
Yeah.
And so the more we can stay in that frequency, the more we create that reality for ourselves. And that's what Calypso was talking about earlier with that, right? That we create the timeline, we create our reality. And so that's just a little example. The guy who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, he was the one that showed me that I was on a big webinar there when COVID just started, and he showed us all of that.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it was like, there was thousands of people in the room. So
that's a lot.
Yeah. The opposite hand grew. Uh-oh. You got your wires crossed, Ming. But you had change, right? So that's where I would invite you to look at that, because maybe it's about changing your perspective. There was an opposite shift there. So change your perspective a little bit on how you see that.
Yeah. And another thing I wanted to say too is that sometimes people need to go down the little bit of the rabbit hole, in certain things, because it can benefit you to experience some of the negative. And we're just going to label it negative, because in my world there is
no
valid.
Positive, negative.
Yeah, everything is valid. So if you feel like, if you have this curiosity to experience, certain types of different perspectives or belief systems, you can go down that rabbit hole, because remember, everything is, you can change it in the blink. You can pull yourself out.
Look
and
at
say,
we just did.
I'm done with that, born with that. Yeah.
Look how quickly we changed our fingers.
Yeah.
We can change our reality and our perception very quickly.
Absolutely. We can shift, and we're constantly shifting. Actually, our consciousness is shifting. I think they say billions per second, which is hard for me to fathom, but it's true.
So we have another question here from Gerald at Tarot Stash, who you need to go check out his channel, guys, because he's pretty awesome. The other thing is, he's going to be on with us tonight. We're doing Michelle and I are doing another live tonight where we're doing free readings, and
you guys check
Gerald is going to be on. So his question is, all the craziness going on in the world, is it a balancing of the vibrational adjustment? I would say my answer to that is twofold. Yes, we need to have balance. Absolutely. And I think that there's an awful lot of light coming down, so it does create the balance. My feeling on the craziness is that one, we need chaos to create change. People don't like change, and they won't change if they're not pushed to change. Yeah. So chaos comes about in order to push us to realize there's stuff that we need to move out of.
Yeah, just like what happened with the pandemic. It aside of all the stuff, that, the controversies or whatever, it showed us more aspects of what we can handle and what we can deal with. For me, I don't look at it was scary, but I did so many positive things during that time, and it changed a lot of things in our society and the structure of things. More people are now working from home, which is actually a good thing, because now parents can, whatever parent chooses to be at home can now be there for when the kids get back or whatever. And it's creating it changed a lot of things in our structure. And I think it helped many of us kind of think outside of the box a little bit.
Absolutely.
I became a really good gardener for 2 years.
Awesome. That wasn't the effect it had on me, but
it got us thinking that, hey, we don't have to be out there all the time having fun. Fun can be created inside our home. I think
we just went inside more.
Right?
Yeah.
It helped a lot of people reflect a little bit more, that's for sure. So I think, like Tanys said too, chaos sounds like a bad word, but it can do a lot of really good things.
Absolutely. And I think the other piece of that, Gerald, is that when we have stuff that we push down or that we ignore, right? And this is on a personal level as well as on the global level. When we push down our denser emotions or the fears and all of that stuff, when we have a whole bunch of light coming into our system, that stuff can't stay there. There's no room to have it there when we're pushing in more light. So as more light comes down, all of that stuff has to come up to be seen and acknowledged. So whether that's our own fears coming up, which we've had a lot of clearing done, a lot of people are having, some major clearing of belief systems, of relooking at how they see things, all of that kind of stuff, dealing with past pain as it's coming up for us. That's just creating more space within us. That's the healing journey, creating more space within us and having more of an understanding of who we are. So as all of that light is coming down to the earth, all of our fears as a collective is coming to the surface. All of the dark stuff that maybe was happening that we chose not to see before is coming to light so that we can clear it, because we can't clear if we are not aware.
Yeah.
So we're becoming aware of some of these things.
Yeah. And what we resist persists. When we push down something, it's gonna eventually, you're gonna explode. So what we resist within ourselves will always, persist, and will always, so we have to, anytime we feel uncomfortable about anything, if it's like an icky feeling, or we have a little like aggravation or something pisses us off, although we have legitimate reasons to be angry, anger serves us, it helps us create change, So that's why I say, when you have these feelings, your emotions or whatever, recognize them, try to see where they're coming from, and see if you can clear it out by sometimes just acknowledging that I'm mad or I'm sad. Just bringing light to the acknowledgement of the situation, or that heals it. People always say, I have all this healing to do. This is the other thing I try to say too, is yes, we have to heal, but sometimes just focusing on the fact that I'm uncomfortable in this, I don't want to be uncomfortable, and getting out of judgment. Judgment of self, judgment of people, judgment of situations, and start moving into an understanding that everything is valid, knowing that everything works for the good of humanity and the world and whatnot, because when we look at ourselves as these beings that have been around for so long, we've lived so many different types of lives. When we just have that veil of forgetfulness here, but if we looked at some of our past lives, we'd be like, oh God,
I've been here, done that.
Been there, done that. I learned that,
and exactly.
Don't put yourself under the microscope. Try to lighten yourself. Understand that you're here to focus on your joys and your passion. The more you enter and focus on these things, it all kind of comes to the surface. You're able to feel and sense, oh wait, I'm a little sensitive there, oh I guess I need to bring my awareness there so that I can heal it. And it's as easy as that.
Yeah. And healing for me too, a big part of that healing journey is getting to know yourself and who you really are. Because the programming kind of overlaps onto everything. And so the more we can peel off the programming, the more we get to know who we are. And that's
that's the fun part. I know it sounds a little egotistical, but a lot of our enlightenment that we're learning in higher states of consciousness revolves around ourselves as these extraterrestrial spiritual beings that we truly are, not this shell.
That's right. Exactly. So we have another question here from Betsy. Are the aliens from the galaxy different from the aliens that live among us? I would say it depends.
It depends on the aliens that they think live amongst us.
It depends how you see the aliens that live amongst us.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking starseeds, that's energetic. And that's like the energy that comes down when we're born.
Yeah. We do have Earth-based aliens that have been on Earth for a long time. And there are different types of species. When I say inner Earth, that is also not like sometimes people think it's physically in the earth. There's actually another vibration, almost like the fairy realm. We know that fairies exist where they're just not in the same dimension as us, because remember, we are as well multidimensional, but we have this heavy skin suit. We're in this reality. In order for us to be in this reality, we have to not see all of those things right now. We have to focus on the lessons that we came in here for. But there are some amazing aliens that have been on our planet for a very long time. And what was the question again?
Are the aliens from the galaxy different from the aliens that live among us?
Yeah, I would say so. Wouldn't you, Tanys?
Well, I think they could be, but I think there could be some here that are out there as well.
Yeah.
I think that it's a blend.
I think so too. I think it's a big blend.
Yeah.
I think many of them have their origins in the stars, but just like we have, like my husband's origin was Mexico, but now his origin is the US, and he's decided to stay here. And I think a lot of them said, oh, I'm just going to decide to stay here because hello, we have like the best planet ever.
Yeah, perhaps.
Me, and that is something that I have learned to be aware of through my past life regressions and meditation, is that I have been here for a while because I think this planet is fantastic.
It is pretty awesome.
It is fantastic. And this is the planet that you learn the most. I think many people agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
The density of our planet, the way emotions are, how we have the veil of forgetfulness. Yeah. We can learn so much. That's why so many aliens are watching us, because we're all changing kind of that. I think the veil of forgetfulness is going to start dissipating after contact.
I have heard actually that has started already. So some of the kids that are coming in with the remembering of all of their past lives.
Yeah. So. You guys may have seen many of those videos where children remember their past lives, and then they tend to forget after age 4 or 5. But there are, like Tana said, there are kids now incarnating that come in with full awareness of past lives more so. And I think a great example, oh God, what's his name? Okay, I forgot his name. Forget I said that. But there are some really great examples.
Good examples.
Of that are coming in with amazing memory and
Matthias?
Yes,
Stefano?
Matthias Stefano.
Stefano. Yes, him.
Well, you can tell Tanys and I were so on the same wavelength. I can't believe that you pulled that out of my brain.
Sorry. Just trying to help.
That's a hard name right there, Matthias Stefano.
That's it.
He's from Argentina. He used to be on Gaia, but if you just type in him on YouTube, Matthias, Matis, most of his stuff really, because I know he focuses on his own language. He does a lot in the Spanish world, but a lot of his stuff just goes over my head.
Well, he focuses a lot on the Atlantean stuff because he had a couple of lifetimes in Atlantis.
Right. Yeah.
So we have another question here, and then we need to sort of wrap it up. I can't believe it's been an hour and 13 minutes
already. We're just having so much fun.
We are. So how many types of aliens are in the Galactic Federation? So I don't have an exact number for that. I'm going to say there are
There's hundreds. A lot, but they have representatives, but not that their representatives represent their species. They have representatives as leaders.
Yeah, I would say there's hundreds. And I would say upward of, it's over 500. I'm feeling it's in around 800s, give or take, because I think it's quite fluid. And I think that there are more and more that are joining the Galactic Federation. This is something that is happening out there right now, and and that's why they're watching us closely, is because they're hoping that we'll start to take part in a larger way in
Yeah.
Galactic
Yeah.
Federation. So we'll see where all of that plays out. But I would say there are, upwards of 800 different types of species.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot when I've seen. So I've seen some of the meetings and stuff, and there's definitely lots of different beings at these meetings and stuff. So
yeah. I keep getting the number 17 for all the higher ups, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it could
the
be.
people that are holding real let's just throw the word out there, diplomatic
stuff.
Commanders, people like Commander Ashtar, people that are holding, I'm getting constant 17 of a collaboration of different species that are in
Yeah, I think those are the leaders, because they're put into quadrants, is what my understanding is. And so as they're in quadrants, they end up with these leaders that come forward. And I think that's the 17. So when we talk about the different types, the 800 and some, I think, is like the different types of species involved.
Literally. Yeah.
But those quadrants have like 17 commanders that sort of do the big talks kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. I think that's the structure that's coming through.
We have so many different types of nationalities in our country, and countries, they have the same thing, exactly the same thing. As above, so below.
Yeah. And then we have one more question, and it is every human also a starseed? I'm guessing we're a mix of off-planet DNA. I don't really think that every human being is a starseed. I don't. I think that we are all a conglomeration of energies. And so it's possible that I think what it is that it gets very diluted as we go through. So there are some, I would say there's probably a minimum amount of ET-DNA and we're talking energetic.
We all have ET-DNA, but I know a lot of people, let's say, because there's no time outside of Earth. So I know that's a hard one to get people to understand. But let's just say your previous life before this life, you incarnated, let's say, in the Pleiades. Yeah. You're going to hold a lot of your memories and your subconscious very strong, because it felt like it was just yesterday. Yeah. There are a lot of people, and Dolores Cannon talks about this when she hypnotized people for past life regressions. She did say that a call went out into the universe that Earth was in trouble after World War II and the Hiroshima bomb, that many star souls that were on other planets having existences that were they were dying, that they volunteered to have their next incarnation be human because they wanted to be here during this amazing time period. And Tanys. So to say starseed, yes, I would say there's a lot of star seeds, but we have so many different origins. And then there are people like me who have been on Earth for a very, very long time, since Atlantis. I've been here for a long time, just fell in love with it. And,
so I think that this, perhaps we could have a brief discussion about the difference between our physical DNA versus our soul DNA, because I think that's an interesting distinction as well. So I would say that our physical DNA, no, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Right. However, our soul DNA, I think the soul DNA is that origin energy. Right. Yeah. Energy is not created nor destroyed. So where does that energy that creates our soul come from? I think it comes from everywhere. We're all connected, including our galactic brothers and sisters. And so all of that becomes part of who we are.
Yes. Right? And that is in your subconscious.
Yeah. Super conscious.
And you have access to your subconscious when you fall asleep at night in your dream state. You have you're straddling that subconscious and you're all the time, and you're not even knowing it. So pay attention to, and I'm going to end with this. Pay attention to everything in your day. See the synchronicities, the signs. Everything is a puzzle piece during your day, and your spirit guides, your higher self, multi-dimensional beings, and your galactic family are always trying to get your attention, saying, "We're
They're
here,
like,
we're
excuse
here."
me. Excuse me.
We're here.
You know, they're polite. They're like, excuse me.
Yeah, they're very polite. But pay attention to all those things in your day, and you're going to start to see some amazing things happen to you. And you're going to start to realize, oh, I think I'm remembering a past life. Ooh, I'm very drawn to this culture or this type of food. And you're going to start realizing, oh, well, it must have been a past life. And that will open you up and take you in a fun direction. Or you just may start to see synchronicities where you're going to want to open up contact with your extraterrestrial family, you know? And it's all
and that's how we start to take the blinders off.
Take
right?
The blinders off.
Take off those lenses of forgetfulness. Open these.
And try
I gotta get me a pair of those.
I got them at the Dollar Tree. When you put them on, they're quite blurry, but they look good.
They do look good. Maybe not practical, but they look good.
They're not practical.
Well, we want to thank everyone for joining us today. Wonderful questions. We really appreciate you lending your energy and your insights and coming along the journey with us.
Yes.
And stay tuned for some of these because we're going to be doing more. Bridge to the Galaxy. We don't have a set schedule yet. We're working on that, but stay tuned for when we go live. And we're sending you all tons of love and light.
Absolutely. Lots of love.
And if you are interested in I'm mirrored. The Alliance. I'm trying to point in the right direction here. The Alliance.
Check out the Alliance.
Check out the Alliance. Okay. See what we're out here for. We're all about, bringing in peace so that we can connect with diplomacy.
Yes. There are some brighter days ahead for sure, and it's exciting.
It is. So thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the Bridge to the Galaxy.
And I will
Lots
see
of
you
love.
Guys later. Bye, everybody.